Spine. Dave, what are your initial thoughts of Spine?
I'd
Spine the
like
game.
to I would like to officially throw out a congratulations to Adam. Adam, congratulations. You found a shooter. Yep, 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 yep. Well done. Congratulations. You found a shooter that I am actually interested in.
Oh, cool.
Let's go. Let's
I'm
go, dude. Let's
excited. I'm
go. Let's
excited.
go. Let's go, dude. I am back.
Cool.
I am back on the shooter train. Yeah, I'm super
Nice.
excited for this one. Let's go ahead and pull the trailer. I think this game's actually gonna be pretty cool. And if you guys have never seen anything or heard anything about this game is gonna be published by Neki. Uh, Not a super well-known developer. They did Shadow Fight, which I don't know if too many people know about Shadow Fight or what it is. It's an okay game.
Yeah.
But I do believe this is going to be their first, like, quote unquote, mainstream title,
I
if
think it's
I'm
their
correct.
first title on console, or like console
Yeah.
PC, to be honest. Not even.
Yeah. Yeah. Shadow Fight is just a PC game, and it's kind of a low budget, kind of indie kind of game. I do think this is going to be their first title.
Yeah. So here's the
But
trailer.
yeah, if you guys are just listening on the Spotify, the trailer right now, we're seeing our main character, and we're getting an introduction into this combat system. Which when I say Adam got me into a shooter, I don't know if this is like your typical
No.
quintessential shooter because it is very much focused on hand-to-hand combat as much as
Yeah.
it's focused on shooting. And what we're seeing is a very John Wick. That's the way that I kind of look at it, is a very John Wick style action,
Hmm.
um, but with like a cyberpunk setting. And I think it's gonna be super sick.
Yeah.
I am super excited for this game.
I think kind of going off what you said, I think it's focused on close quarters combat. So they want you to get in close. Yes, you'll use guns, but I don't think it's not like a division where you're sitting back shooting people. I think they want you up there blasting people away, using your hands and things like that. And so the biggest thing with this movie, kind of going off of like how you said it feels like a John Wick movie. That's their whole thing with this game. Like the developer Neki is saying that they are they want it to feel like an action movie. They want you to feel like you're playing an action movie, and has those gung fu movie aesthetics. Like that's what they're going for. So the way you described it, it's like that's exactly what they're going for. Um,
Yeah. And I
and
think I think they really nailed that. And you can see that in the gameplay trailer of like like one of my favorite parts of John Wick is just like kind of those situations where he's in those tight quarters, right? And it's much more of like, he obviously has a gun. It's obviously a shooter, but it's like, you get this crazy like block, 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 block punch,
yeah,
and then like shin kick, and then like the gun is like close range,
like
and
it's
he's like
in
pow,
their
pow, pow, pow.
face. Yeah,
Yeah, and you're just like, "Oh, oh, oh," like, "Oh my,"
yeah,
like, that's so much more, like, exciting to see than just like like a peek around the corner, like pop, 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 back undercut, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. I think they nailed that.
And then another thing that's cool about it, so they actually hired people that are like action movie specialists to like choreograph like the finishers and like just the combat in general. And I think that's really
Yeah,
cool. And so kind of going into the story a little bit, you'll play as Redline, and essentially um there's like AIs like that are like oppressive and things like that, AI regime. And so you get what's called spine, and that's the AI that's put in the back of the spine. So hence the name. And yeah, and so essentially you're just trying to take them down. I think it's going to be a game that really doesn't focus so much on like the story of the game, but really just like the immersiveness of the combat and the fight scenes that you get with it. And I think that's going to be really fun with it. It's going to be a
yeah, I
revenge
think
story too, is what it says.
yeah, I think it'd be really cool. And honestly, like this whole idea of like that they call it like an autocratic AI, where it's
Mhm.
like the AI has kind of taken over. And
Yep.
I think with the way that AI is kind of going in the real world, like this is a very plausible situation. I mean, this is something that could happen. We could see in like the next 20 to 30 years where like AI has kind of taken over. You know
I
what I
hope
mean?
not.
Uh, I mean, it's a very plausible
Yeah.
situation, and I think it's kind of cool that they're bringing this aspect into the game. The one thing that you touched on is the sentient combat system, though.
Yeah.
This, like, with the inner workings of the spine and stuff, like
Yeah, yeah.
your AI implant. I almost see it as almost like a Terminator type of thing.
Yeah.
But did you see the other gameplay trailer where they were like kind of giving like an inside look of like how the character Redline is gonna see of like it almost had like this Terminator like overface. Did you see that?
I did not. Actually, I
Okay.
think I did. I just don't think I like remembering specifically what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But
so like guys, if you look at the second gameplay trailer, or like I don't even know which one came out
yeah.
first. That one might have came out first, but
Mhm.
it's almost like you're getting like a first person view, like you're seeing through their eyes, and it kind of has like the cybernetic kind of
Hmm.
Terminator look where she can like kind of see through walls and stuff like that. And
Interesting.
like, yeah, she's like getting like this, like, I don't know. It is almost like she's wearing a virtual boy. It's like
Right.
everything's in red and she's getting like outlines of people and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, is that still going to be part of the game, or did they kind of scrap that idea? Because we don't see that in this new gameplay trailer. There's nothing that alludes to that anymore.
Right. I wonder if it's abilities. Like they're gonna have abilities that like, oh, you can see through the walls and like the cybernetic abilities with it, and not they didn't want
Yeah.
to show them yet, or they're not finished with them. So maybe it's more like a cinematic thing with it. But maybe I think that'd be kind of cool if they keep that kind of thing.
I think it would be really kind of cool if they kind of work that into the system, because I was excited about that aspect. I'm like, oh, you get like a Terminator style interface where you can
Hmm.
see like weakness points, and you can see through walls and stuff like that, and like really kind of plan your excursion. Because like that's one of my like, this is totally off topic, but like one of my favorite things. Have you ever seen the Sherlock Holmes movies?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay, but I don't know if you guys remember, but in the Sherlock Holmes movies, he always kind of has like um Robert Downey Jr.'s character almost has this like premonition of what he's going to do when he enters the room to
Ooh.
start the combat. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where
There's
it's like,
other games and movies that have done that, so yeah, it's kind of cool.
yeah. So I think like having that like intelligence is kind of cool, because it would like really help you kind of like plan make your attack plan before you enter into the
Mhm.
room. And I hope they don't get rid of that, because I think that would be kind of cool. And
Yeah,
it,
that would
it
be
just
cool.
made it was weird that they had it, and then it's like, no, we're not talking about this anymore.
Right.
Um so hopefully it's still part of the game, because I was excited for that part.
I think that would be really cool. It's funny that you like bring up stuff like the gameplay mechanics. So people look at this trailer and they're like, "Wait, where's the gameplay?" And like they're like, "This is all cinematic. Like this isn't like gonna be the real game." And it's like, give it time. Let things mold. Let them work on things. Like you can't just have it 0 to 100 in like a second. And so like all the comments I was seeing, like, oh, it'd be cool if they actually show us gameplay. It's like, and even the trailer didn't say gameplay trailer specifically. So like,
I mean, yeah, people are saying that this gameplay doesn't look real. What about on the flip side though? Like, what if it is?
yeah,
What if this is just where games are now?
yeah, yeah,
Unreal Engine 5 is insane.
yeah. I hope it is.
It,
And like, I don't want to discount it until I actually see the like the full. You know what I mean? Like right before the game is going to be released, that's when you can really
yeah,
see like this is the gameplay. But this is so early on. It's like you can't jump to conclusions yet. Like hold on. Like this game's not. I don't know when it's supposed to be released. I don't think there's an announcement on it yet. Do you have it at
just
all?
no, just sometime in 2024. There's no it's a
Yeah.
TBA released it.
Yeah, so I don't think like you can't just jump to the conclusion of like, "Hey, where's my gameplay?" When they're let's say it's gonna come out in September of 2024. Like they're they're working on a lot of stuff. So hold
Yeah,
your horses.
and
Is all I'm
also
saying.
yeah, and also it's like a good indicator for this is coming out on PS5, Xbox Series 1 and PC.
Hmm.
That's it. So
Right.
there's no last gen releases for this. There's no
Yeah.
PS4 version, there's no Xbox One. It's just like, what if this is where gaming is at now? Like
Yeah.
we are just at this level. Like we are kind of seeing gameplay footage in that trailer, and it's just becoming so good that people don't believe it anymore.
That would be kind of neat, wouldn't it? Like
Yeah.
for people that are just so against things like this. But so a couple things I want to talk about with it. One thing that like the description of it says is players get to affect the future of the dystopia world. Do you think it's going to be one of those things where like what you do affects like the ending of the game, or do you think it's just going to be like certain aspects?
I think just certain aspects. I think if I think it's going to be one of those games where you have a few choices that do matter, but not to the point of like, okay, this is really affecting
Yeah.
storyline. Because I feel like if it was that type of game, they would really lean into that more.
Yeah, I
You know,
would
does
agree.
that make any sense?
Yeah, they
But
like, oh, like this affects this, and it like shows two different aspects. Like, you know what I mean? Like the city's on fire, the other one's blossoming, like stuff like that.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's like it would like show a split in the path or something
yeah,
of like
yeah,
this decision matters, guys. You know what
yeah,
I mean? I feel like they would lean a little bit into more into that. But like I'm okay with that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? This doesn't feel like a game where I really want to make a bunch of decisions.
Right.
Like it doesn't feel like a game that I want to make a bunch of decisions that actually really kind of matter to story arc. Like
Hmm.
this is much more just a robust, like action packed. Like I just want to follow the storyline and see
Yeah.
where it goes.
And it's funny that you say that because I was another question I had. Do you think this is gonna be an open world game or it's gonna be like semi open world? Where I think this is a game that could do well with like a wide open linear place. You know what I mean? Like hard to say.
I feel like this game needs to be an open world,
You
but
too?
yeah, I do. I do feel like it needs to be an open world. But it needs to be an open world that's structured. And we talk about this all the time where it's
Hmm.
like, you know, it can be an open world, but it needs to be an open world that is slightly linear. And
Hmm.
I hate to I hate to keep bringing this up, but I feel like Spider-Man does a great job with this. It's like when you're playing Spider-Man, it's an open world, but you're never guessing where you need to go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no like, oh, I'm totally lost and just wandering around this map, you
Hmm.
know? And I feel like that's the type of game that this needs to be because this city, guys, if you guys haven't seen the trailer again, I mean, take a look at the trailer. This cyberpunk city that they've created is like
It
really,
looks really neat.
really,
Yeah.
it really, really is just kind of cool. And like, I would love to have the ability to just kind of freely, you know, roam around that city at some points and see what the city has to offer outside of the storyline.
Yeah, and
Does
actually
that make
kind of
sense?
yeah, and kind of thinking about it a little bit more, even in the trailer, the way they kind of your characters walking and the scenes are like splitting, like walking in different sections. So yeah, I'm guessing it is going to be an open world. And I think that and the way you describe it would make it very fun and having the ability to really explore a cyberpunk city like this. So
Yeah, just being able to explore on your own time and not have like just, you know, like not just a straight storyline, level 1, level 2, level 3, where you're like, "Oh, I kinda wanna explore around a little bit and see, like, you know,
yeah,
find some secrets and, like, find some cool stuff." Like, I hope they do make that part of the game because that's as much as I like, you know, a solid storyline, like I said, dude, I've spent hours just in Red Dead Redemption just, like, riding the horse and, like,
yeah,
fishing and stuff like that. Like, sometimes I just like doing that stupid stuff. So, hopefully they make the world something that you can explore.
yeah, make it mindless, which is always so fun in a game where you can just kind of chill out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about this one. When I sent this to you, like, and I started reading the negative comments. I was like, I don't care. I'm getting this game. I'm super excited. This is a game that I'm getting. So I'm glad you're excited too because this one looks really fun.